Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Ready to explore something totally new? Today, we're going to be looking at how generative AI is transforming the world of short video creation.
Sounds exciting.
It is. We've got these two awesome workshop modules just packed with insights.
Okay.
And they both actually feature the journey of this guy, Tony Yang. His career is like a real-world example of the evolution we're going to be talking about.
Yeah, it's pretty wild how Tony went from traditional design back in 1984 to becoming this leading AI consultant by 2025.
Right, talk about embracing new technology. So much has changed, even in the last few years.
Definitely.
Now, we've all heard about AI, but what exactly is generative AI?
Well, generative AI is basically all about machines actually creating new content.
Like from scratch?
Yeah, not just like copying or remixing stuff that already exists.
Wow.
We're talking about AI that can make text, audio, images, you name it, even videos.
So it's like having this AI creative partner.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty cool. What kind of things can generative AI actually do? I mean, what are we talking about here?
Think about restoring like those old family photos that are all faded and stuff.
Oh, interesting.
Or designing virtual fashion lines, composing music, or even creating those immersive VR experiences.
It's crazy how far this has come, even just thinking back a few years.
Totally.
So how does generative AI actually learn how to create all this stuff? I mean, where does it even start?
It all comes down to data.
Yeah.
Generative AI uses these like complex algorithms and deep learning models. They train on these massive data sets.
I see.
So, for example, you've got generative adversarial networks, or GANs for short. Essentially, it's two AI systems, kind of, battling it out.
Yeah.
One creates the content, and then the other one judges how real it looks.
Fascinating.
So it's like this back and forth, pushing the AI to get better and better, more realistic.
That makes sense.
And that's how it learns, creates something new that's believable too.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And Tony Yang, he was an early adopter of all this.
Yeah, we talked about his journey a little bit ago, starting with image editing and then going full on into video creation.
Right. Using platforms like Canva, TikTok, and DID.
And he's had some real success with it.
Huge success. One of his videos even got over 1 million views.
That's incredible, especially coming from someone who didn't start in the tech world.
Really shows the potential. And speaking of game-changing tools, we got to talk about ChatGPT.
Of course. It's everywhere you look these days.
Yeah, it's been a real game changer in the world of generative AI, especially for text-based stuff. It's come a long way from those early GPT versions to what we have now.
What do we have now?
Well, now we've got GPT 4.0. It's, omni-capable.
Omni-capable.
Meaning it can handle text, images, audio, video, you name it.
Oh, wow. That's intense.
Yeah, and the source material even talks about these different levels of AI, everything from conversational AI to organizational AI. They even have this framework called Content Tools Application.
Okay, what's that all about?
Well, it just shows how generative AI creates the raw content. Then you've got these tools that structure it, visualize it, and then ultimately you get these applications that deliver some real value.
So it's like a chain reaction.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Starting with that generative AI engine.
Right.
And then, boom, so many possibilities.
Exactly. Now, a lot of people have already tried the free version of ChatGPT. Want to dive into some of its features and limitations?
Yeah, let's break it down.
So the free version lets you experiment, You can generate different writing styles, do translations, ask questions, and even write different kinds of creative content. But it's got some usage limits, like how many prompts you can use per hour.
So if you go over, you got to wait.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's definitely a limitation.
For sure. And the source material really emphasizes how important it is to communicate effectively with ChatGPT.
It's not just about typing anything in.
No, you got to be specific, think it through.
So how do we talk to ChatGPT and get the most out of it?
It's almost like having a conversation with a really smart assistant, but one that's super literal. You got to set the context, ask clear questions, maybe even put in some constraints to guide the output.
Like set some boundaries.
Yeah, and be ready for a back and forth to fine-tune the results.
Almost like you're training it.
You are. But, even the smartest AI can make stuff up sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we call that hallucination. It's just a reminder to always, always double-check what you get from ChatGPT.
Makes sense.
Because it's a tool, right? Got to use it responsibly.
Like any tool. So ChatGPT is cool, but Tony's story shows us there's a whole world of AI tools out there.
There are, each with its own specialty.
Right. So what are some of the ones he uses?
He mentions tools like Notebook LM for research and brainstorming.
Right.
Midjourney for amazing visuals. Canva for design, DID for making those lifelike avatars, and Suno for audio.
It's like having an entire digital studio.
Right, and what you can do with these tools is always growing.
It's pretty mind-blowing.
You can generate different writing styles, create photorealistic images, even compose music. It feels like there are endless possibilities.
Absolutely. So let's switch gears for a sec and talk about short video creation. It seems like Tony's really mastered this.
It's so important these days. Short-form video is just getting bigger and bigger, and Tony actually developed this framework.
A framework?
Yeah, the Short Video Production Activation Framework.
Okay, what's that all about?
It's all about breaking down the video creation process step by step.
So it's like a roadmap.
Exactly. It tackles common challenges like really understanding your theme, managing the project, and using those technical tools effectively. Then it takes you through defining that theme, planning, scheduling, and actually converting your script to those visuals.
It sounds super practical.
It is. And Tony, with his background in design, really gets how important the visual storytelling aspect is.
I bet.
He's big on using things like mind maps and storyboards to plan your shots and bring those ideas to life visually in a way that connects with people.
Creating that visual language.
Exactly.
That makes sense. And then he also talks about these racetracks.
Oh yeah, the racetrack.
Different themes and styles for short videos.
It's all about tapping into what the audience is into, what's trending.
So what's a racetrack that really worked for Tony?
Well, he had amazing success with videos about the 24 solar terms in Chinese culture.
Okay, I've never heard of that.
They're these ancient seasonal markers. He combined visuals with education, and it was a hit.
Wow.
Over 1 million views on one video.
No way. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So he's not just making videos, he's thinking about how to connect with a specific audience.
Absolutely. Strategy is key. What are some other racetracks he explores?
Yeah, give us some more examples.
Well, he does holiday and event marketing, you know, those cute animal videos, 3D art designs, humor, personal growth. He even gets into travel, product marketing, cooking, life hacks, health tips, you name it.
Wow, it really seems like there's a racetrack for every interest.
There really is. It's all about finding what resonates with you and the people you want to reach.
So we've got these tools, these racetracks, but what makes a short video actually stand out? What makes it good?
That's the million-dollar question. The first rule is you got to grab the viewer's attention right away. You only have a few seconds to make a first impression.
That's like the golden rule of the internet. Get them before they scroll away.
Exactly. You need a strong hook. Then you got to get your message across clearly, quickly.
Keep it concise.
Yes. Don't try to do too much in a short video.
Okay.
One core message, and you always end with a clear call to action. You know, what do you want the viewer to do next?
So impact, clarity, and engagement.
That's it. What are some practical tips to actually achieve that?
Yeah, let's get into the how-tos.
Keep a fast pace. Use quick cuts, smooth transitions. Things like data visualizations, motion graphics, split screens can all add visual interest.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to use emotional hooks, relatable scenes, even humor.
People love to laugh.
And never underestimate a catchy slogan or a good pun. That can stick with someone.
It's true. So there's this balance between creativity and strategy.
Absolutely. Finding that sweet spot where your vision and what the audience wants line up perfectly.
And visual storytelling is huge here, right?
Huge. Using those visuals to convey your message and evoke those emotions.
We'll get into that more in a bit.
Yeah, we'll dive deeper into that next time.
So we've covered a lot in this first part of our deep dive.
We have. It's been fun.
We've explored what generative AI is all about, looked at ChatGPT, and even got a glimpse of Tony's approach to short video creation.
A lot to think about.
And there's so much more to explore. We'll continue our journey into this fascinating world of generative AI and short video creation in the next part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
I'm excited. So remember where we left off? We were talking about visual storytelling.
Yeah, how to make those short videos really stand out.
Exactly. And this is where Tony's expertise really comes in.
He's got that design background, right?
Yeah. He's big on visual consistency. You know, creating a strong brand identity.
Like a signature look.
Totally. Think about those big brands, the successful ones.
Oh, yeah.
You can spot their videos anywhere, even without seeing the logo. It's all about that visual coherence.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So how do we create that coherence? What do we need to think about?
It starts with the basics. Your color palette. Choose colors that match your brand and stick with them.
Got it.
And using filters or tones can set a specific mood, you know, like bright and happy or dark and intense.
Oh, I see. So it's all about that consistent vibe.
Yeah. What about things like subtitles and logos?
Oh yeah, those are important too.
Keep those consistent. Font, color, placement, all that. And think about where that logo goes, how you show it.
It's all about that unified look.
Exactly. Now let's talk about text animation.
I love a good text animation.
It can really level up your storytelling. Tony has some good advice on this.
Okay, like what?
First, keep the text clear, short, and sweet. You don't want to overwhelm people.
Right, too much text is a no-go.
Use animation to guide the viewer's eye and emphasize those key points. And make sure the style matches the focus of the scene, you know?
It has to fit the vibe.
Yeah, it's not just about adding flashy text. It's got to serve a purpose.
So it's strategic.
Totally. Think about using it to highlight info, introduce new ideas, or even inject some humor.
Oh, that's a good idea.
The source material mentions all these different animation styles. You got fades, zoom explosions, path-following animation.
Yeah, there's so many cool options.
So how do you pick the right one? It all depends on your video. Like a fast-paced tech video might use quick cuts and kinetic typography to create that energy.
Okay.
While something more chill, like nature, might use slow fades and gentle movements to create that sense of calm.
I get it. It's all about matching the style.
Exactly. Tony actually uses that path-following technique a lot to guide the viewer's eye, create that sense of movement.
That's really interesting. So much to think about.
Every little detail matters, and while visuals are key, we can't forget about audio.
Oh, for sure. Music, sound effects, voiceovers, that stuff brings it all to life.
Right, it adds layers to the story, you know, makes it immersive.
Makes you feel like you're right there.
Yeah. It's about understanding different sound effects and when to use them. Alerts, transitions, ambient sounds, all that good stuff.
How many options?
Each one has a purpose. It's like creating this soundscape that matches the visuals, you know, amps up the emotion.
And voiceovers are so important too.
Big time. The tone of the voiceover is crucial. Do you want it warm and friendly, professional, funny? Think about your audience and your message.
Makes sense.
Tony suggests playing around with different styles to see what fits best.
Okay, I like that. Experiment a little.
And then there's the background music that can really set the mood.
For sure, music is so powerful.
Choose music that aligns with your video. You don't want something that clashes.
Like happy music for a sad video.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing Tony stresses is adapting your content for different platforms.
Ah, so it's not one size fits all.
Nope. Even with a strong brand identity, how you present those videos might need to change depending on where they're going.
So TikTok versus YouTube, for example.
Right, different pacing, different visual style.
Makes sense. TikTok is all about those quick cuts and hooks, while YouTube can handle longer stuff.
Exactly. So it's finding that sweet spot, consistency, and adaptability.
Got it. You know, it seems like there's a lot more to creating short videos than people might think.
It's not just pointing a camera and filming. There's vision, skills, strategy.
It's a whole process.
But when it's done right, it's powerful. You know, before we move on, I want to touch on why Tony loves this so much.
Yeah, why short video?
Well, he's always loved storytelling. He thinks stories can connect with people, you know, get them thinking, get them doing.
And short video is perfect for today's world.
Totally. Short attention spans, fast-paced life.
Yeah, it just fits.
Tony sees it as a tool for communication, education, even social change. Everyone has a story, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And short video gives them a platform.
So in this part, we've talked about visual storytelling, those specific techniques, and even Tony's passion for this whole thing.
It's been a good conversation.
What are some key takeaways for our listeners?
I think the biggest one is that making great short videos goes beyond just the technical stuff.
Yeah, it's more than just knowing how to use the software.
It's about knowing your audience, having a clear message, and telling a story that really resonates.
It's like, what's the point of the video?
Yeah, and every detail matters. Colors, music, text animation, it all adds up to that overall experience.
All connected.
Don't be afraid to try things out. Different techniques, those racetracks we talked about.
Play around and see what works.
That's what's so cool about this. There's always room to be creative, try something new.
It's exciting, isn't it? What new insights are our listeners getting from this? What's sparking their creativity?
That's what we want to know. As we wrap this up, think about the stories you want to tell, the things you want to share.
Okay.
Short video, powered by AI, can make it happen. The tools are there.
It feels like we're at this turning point. You know, generative AI is changing everything, especially for video.
It really is. More people can be creative, share their stories, their ideas with the world.
I love that. So in this deep dive, we've covered a lot of ground. We talked about what generative AI is, all the things it can do. We learned about Tony Yang and his journey as a creator.
Yeah, his story's pretty inspiring.
Totally. And we dug into the practical stuff, visual storytelling, using audio, adapting content for all those different platforms.
It's been a wild ride.
It has. We just scratched the surface, though. Generative AI is going to keep evolving.
Who knows what's next? It's exciting and a little bit scary at the same time.
I know, right? Like we're stepping into the unknown.
But that's what makes it so interesting. For creators, I mean. There's this sense of adventure, pushing those creative boundaries.
It's more than just the technology itself. It's about human creativity driving it all.
Exactly. These tools give us new ways to express ourselves, connect with people, even change the world a little bit.
I love that. It's about using these tools to tell the stories that matter.
Exactly. So as we wrap things up, what do we want our listener to take away from all this?
What's that spark we want to ignite?
I want them to be excited about generative AI. Not afraid of it, but see the possibilities.
Okay, yeah.
These tools, they aren't replacing human creativity, they're making it stronger.
It's not us versus them, it's us with them.
Right, working together to make something awesome. And I hope our listener feels like they can explore these tools, experiment, find their own voice.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So to our listener, what stories are you going to tell? What will you share with the world? The power is yours. Until next time, keep on diving deep.